Good afternoon. Welcome to Tailgate Update. This should be number 45. And welcome to Julie Miller, as always, Caleb Horn, as usual, and his special guest today, Cale. And we'll be talking about whatever is covered in the news this week. And we're all kind of tingling a little bit as we approach football season. So
That's
anyway,
a word.
we're getting around. Thanks, I found it in the dictionary. We'll be getting rolling in just a little bit, but the first thing we're going to talk about is soccer this week, and we're going to be talking about Club America versus California Rapids. And Julie, would you lead us off on that?
Yeah, so it's called the Leagues Cup, and it's in America. I believe the Americas. So I'm not sure if it's. I'm thinking it might go into Central a bit, but it's mostly in America. So there's the quarterfinal, and it was kind of wild because Club America was number one, and Colorado Rapids was the 46th seed. And I've never heard of a league where they have the 46th seed and the first seed playing in the semifinals, but here we are. And the Rapids, despite being the clear underdogs, actually won. So it was a huge deal. It was a penalty shootout. So they won 9-8.
Jeez.
Yeah, so they are enthused as all get out because the morale, is at an all-time high over there. And so they are going to proceed into they're going to be playing LAFC on Wednesday, August 21st at 8 p.m. And you can see it on Apple TV, MLS Season Pass. Yeah, so we will see if the number 46 seed continues on. And another soccer note is that the English Premier League took 2 seconds of time, and they are now back playing again. So I know all of our international soccer fans are going to be thrilled about that. And Chelsea lost, which makes us all happy. So,
are we anti-Chelsea here?
Well, I mean, they just always win. It's kind of like the Chiefs.
Oh,
it would be like yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm cracking. So we're rooting for the little guys. What we're doing.
Yeah, as much as you can be the little guy in a league that you
in the English Premier League. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they are definitely the big dogs. So, yep.
No Yankee fans here.
Oh no. No Yankees. Period.
None at all.
All right, Jay.
Oh, well, I was going to say the great thing about the off season of football and basketball, for me especially, is that at least there's UFC.
Oh, at least
every Saturday night you've got the UFC. They're dependable. No off season for the UFC. So, Julie, what was up this weekend with the Unlimited Fighting Championships?
Yeah, it got kind of wild out here. So let me see. No. I gotta continue the audio because as per the usual, we have some pretty good clips from the show. But probably the thing that was the most surprising of the whole week was that a judge actually got removed during, I think it was after one of the matches or the cards, but before it was over. Because he had a controversial scorecard in I did not look these up. So Rosenstruik and Tuivasa fight. And so what happened was it was in Australia. So, which doesn't really matter other than we're impressed by how fast they were with this. All three of there was 4 judges. All of the 3 other ones had picked the clear winner that was pretty obvious, and then there was one person who picked the other guy. And rumor has it, I saw it somewhere, that he had put down his name before the match was even over. And so because it was so clear and obvious, it's not that you can't disagree with people, or maybe the numbers can be different. But when you're picking the clear loser, then there's controversy there and there's questions. And so he got removed right after that card because they felt like there was something to it, you know. And they're like, if this is his level of judgment, then he doesn't get to be a judge. So that was a little bit. They took care of business. Okay. And then they were worried because they were one judge down for the next card that we're going to see the highlight from. But thankfully, it was a pretty quick KO. Yep. So they didn't really need any extra judges for that one because he took care of business. So 3 was enough. And then this was like the main card. Even I know these people by name, so that's pretty significant. But Israel was a pretty big deal out there. Okay, so when they finished him like this was one of the, if not the main card, it was one of the last 2 fights, so you know it's good. But yeah, he did the sleeper hold. He put him to sleep. And he is just down. Yeah, that was a pretty epic deal because, again, Israel's a pretty big deal. I've been watching him for a couple of years now, so he got a nap on the mat. And then there's some controversy because the 307 UFC 307 game is coming up soon. I don't remember which day. It's in October. And so they just announced that they're gonna have that Alex Pereira is gonna be going facing off with Khalil Roundtree Jr. I think it's gonna be the main event, and it's a really big deal. Yeah, the co-headliner for the bantamweight belt. Oh no, that's the ladies. My bad. Anyway, it was kind of a big deal because he wasn't supposed to come back until November or December, and he's fought like 4 or 5 times this year already or something like that. And like typically there's like a huge kind of gap in between because they're trying to like repair their brain cells in between. And then also there's some controversy because apparently he had to leave. Let me see. There's a critique from a lot of people because let me see here. He got kicked out of another fight because he failed drug tests. So then they're like, so he doesn't have to do they're like, he doesn't have to do this other fight, and he got to like, and now he's going straight into a title fight, which is like a much, more recognizable feat. And so people are saying that it's pretty biased because first off, he shouldn't even be allowed to with the drug test, but then also the fact that he's like getting rewarded with the title is angering a lot of fans and even like former players and stuff like that. So we'll keep an eye on Alex Pereira's situation and whether he'll actually be going in October or not. But that's all we have for the UFC this week.
Let me just ask you one question off topic just a little bit. I know that the golf is trying to kind of shut down before the NFL season starts, okay? Because they get killed in the ratings by them. College football season coming up in a week and pros in 2. Does the UFC kind of modify their schedule? I mean, do they just roll on every Saturday night? I mean,
it's
because
not every Saturday. I think it's once a month.
Once a month. Okay.
Yeah, because card 307 is in October and we just had 305.
Okay.
So I think
they'll do fight nights like Wednesday nights or Friday nights or Saturday nights though throughout the month as well on top of.
Is that the MMA?
It's still UFC.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just.
But do they modify it as far as you can tell? As far as it just rolls on. Plus, they have such weird start times of like 8 and 9 Eastern time,
yeah.
so it doesn't really
main card
compete with anything except West Coast.
Yeah, your main card doesn't really start until
11,
like 9:30, 10 o'clock for the final 4 or 5 fights.
Yeah, we're up pretty late. And it's on a Saturday, which obviously doesn't ever conflict with actual football games unless it's COVID. So, um, like diehard fans are not going to have to pick. So that helps as well.
Okay, that sounds good. Let me kind of switch over to the college football season. Finally getting here. Finally getting here. And I'm going to throw it to Caleb first of all to get some of your thoughts on what you're seeing people excited about right now for college football.
Yeah. So Julie had mentioned earlier about Florida State, Georgia Tech. That is going to be the very first game of the season. It's going to be standalone. It will be next Saturday at 11 a.m. on ESPN. So go ahead and tune in there. Florida State is actually going to play two games before some teams play one. It's kind of funky. But there's actually quite a few. Like normally the first couple of weeks, as we know, is like where the big dogs schedule the powder puffs and they run up the score 75 to like 10, and everybody goes home feeling good and everything. But we got a few like big games actually. So one of the like couple I want to highlight is Miami, which is of course they're ranked in the top 25 because Miami. I'm sure that they'll probably barely make a bowl game this year though because they just seem to be cursed. But Miami versus Florida is gonna be a big one. Number 14 versus number one Georgia to open things up on August 31st. Penn State, West Virginia, number 7 Notre Dame versus number 20 Texas A&M. Then USC and LSU will finish off. So we got a lot of big schools.
That is great. That's a great opening schedule. That's incredible.
It's like they planned it, Jay.
Quite the slate. Yeah.
It is, but they've had plans before and they just still stunk, like Caleb was saying.
So lots to look forward to. It's good to kind of kick things off like that and kind of get it buzzing early. You don't have to wait until like October, November for the big time games anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that makes sense.
And yeah, I said Florida State will play Boston College for their second game of the week. But
I was going to say for the G5, for the people that are no longer in the big conferences, for Memphis, the local team here, it's like they do play Florida State early. And it's like if you're a not power 4 team playing Florida State, it's been circled on their calendar for 3 years. They're playing their ex head coach who left them to go to Florida State. And he was the coach of Florida State that survived the throw this bum out. Let's get Deion Sanders 3 years ago. And so we're hoping that Florida State can get really knocked around the first couple of 3 weeks before they play University of Memphis, because it's their only big game of the year. They play 12 games this year. They're favored in 11, except in Florida State. I know, because all the good teams left for the Power 5. They lost Cincinnati. They lost everybody else except Tulane is the only good ones left in the conference now. So, but what I was going to say is, do you think that the opening will be different this year with there being no Saban? I mean, who do we all hate now that Saban is gone?
I still have energy for that because he still runs his mouth at his little dinners where he speaks and he sounds anyway. That's all I'll say.
I like Saban. I think he's actually like a genuinely good guy.
You would say that, Caleb.
Ryan Day, I'd say, is probably about the most unanimously disliked. Deion Sanders is making himself very well disliked.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, yeah.
He's running is looking like a pretty Mickey Mouse program right now. So
yeah, there's lots of things going on with Colorado and Deion and everything.
Yeah,
so that maybe that'll come to fruition by next week. We'll have some feedback on that, other than just rumors. But there's a lot of weird things happening when a 20-year-old's taking bankruptcy.
So, oh,
yeah, we'll look into that this week. But anyway, yeah, there's lots of controversy with Sanders and some of the press corps and everything.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh my gosh,
his son. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He told a reporter to go and investigate it, and the reporter did.
Tell somebody to do their job. They're probably going to go do their job.
Do your job,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Here, I'm telling you, there's something to look at
Yeah.
here.
He's like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
So,
But other than that, I'm really going to start looking at hard next week on the college football. But just kind of a quick circle. What's the one game that you're really looking for, like the first month or 6 weeks that you're like pointed to that you just are not going to move?
me?
Yeah, Caleb, you
Yeah,
start.
I'm definitely thinking Georgia Clemson. That's one. I just want to see if Dabo is done or not. I don't know. It seems like he's kind of starting to lose it, and he's not willing to play by the NIL rules. And I appreciate his efforts to stick with homegrown guys and get the 3-4 year dudes that just kind of grow up throughout the program. But times are changing, and it's not really built for success when you do things like that. So you got to go out, got to go get transfers, got to go throw money at some guys that otherwise they're going to go to Alabama or even Florida. Florida's willing to throw money around. They're not very good though. Should be easy to poach guys from that. So we'll see what they do against the number one team in the country for the third consecutive year. But also curious to see where Georgia's at too. If their quarterback Carson Beck, if he's going to be the real deal, if he's going to end up flubbing kind of like Clemson's former cornerback DJ Uiagalelei. Or sorry if I botched that. But
That sounded good.
If you did, I wouldn't be able to tell. Yeah.
Say it with confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I said, Memphis at Florida State, big, huge game, the biggest game for the. But also, I don't know whether it's the first month or 6 weeks, but Alabama and Texas.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's going to be any game with Texas involved this year because they've just talked so much trash about the SEC, and the SEC's talked so much trash about every other conference. So we'll see who's really king. And Texas took care of business last year, ended up getting into the playoff. Alabama didn't. They're bringing back Quinn Ewers as the quarterback. Arch Manning is waiting in the wing anytime that Quinn gets hurt. So it's going to be a lot of good stuff. And I don't know if anybody's looked at Florida's schedule. They play
the last month.
Oh my gosh. What in the world? It's like 6 top 15 teams in a row, it feels like. So good luck to them. They might win 4 games this year. Also, the Miami and Florida game is really interesting too, because you can talk about 2 coaches that should be on the hot seat. Cristobal for Miami and Napier for Florida. This is probably his last shot. Cristobal might have an extra year depending on how they look this year, but I think if they both miss a bowl, it might be Joe for him.
Okay, we're going over down to the
NFL
NFL preseason. Okay, and let's see. I'll just start with that since I've given everybody else a chance to start with something. I was really kind of surprised that some of the announcers the other day talked about what diminished role the preseason has just publicly, even though everyone can tell it, apparently, that Wednesday and Thursday, the Seahawks and the Titans had group practices at the local practice field in Nashville. And they did such a good job of sorting out the packages and the new guys and the way they fit together so well that they didn't play any starters for the Titans on Saturday night. And I was just shocked that they admitted that. It's like, oh, that's great. All the starters played Wednesday and Thursday. I
appreciate the honesty.
Pads. I couldn't believe it. And they even asked Coach Callahan about it during the halftime walk-off. And he said, yeah, they did such a good job. We told the starters we're giving them Saturday off. And I was like, you charge $45 per for Nissan Stadium in Nashville at 45,000 people. And I calculated that with my little Windows calculator at about $2 million That's before concessions and parking. That these
Yeah.
people paid to see from 23 to 50, to 65 on the roster. That they didn't even get to. They didn't get to see not only Will Levis, but they didn't get to see wide receiver 4 or like defensive end number
Right.
3 or anybody that
Anything.
would be starting. They got to see the guy that was like trying to take over wide receiver 5. He's doing such a great job. He caught 20 passes last year, and they talked about him half the game because he was literally the only name you'd ever heard of
Oh
playing for the
gosh.
Titans.
Man,
I was
if
just amazed at the honesty. It's just become such a. Remember when they talked about that when it goes from 4 games to 3? Oh, that
Yeah.
means that they'll play the starters some because they have to get ramped up. They have to do this and that. And we know game 3, they're not going to play it because it's like the week before. So they don't
Mhm.
want to see anybody hurt. So I'm like, they charge the same amount of money for the tickets.
Yeah, I will say that if you go into it, because we do some preseason games because they're cheaper and everything.
Uh-huh.
But if you go into it with the expectation that you're going to have any starters, you
Yeah,
might be disappointed thoroughly.
exactly.
Like, you kind of know it. I get your point that they could have thrown him a bone or a couple bones, maybe not the big guys, but at least somebody. But,
Yeah.
it is kind of, you
Give him
kind
a
of,
drive.
yeah.
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
drives. What's it going to hurt for 12 minutes?
What's
The
this
middle
going to look
game.
like if they start 0-6 this year? Like, how many times is he going to be asked about? Well, do you think you should have played your players in the second week, or like, do you regret not playing your guys and getting them ready for the season? Do you feel like they're underprepared because of this? Like, when you're saying stuff like that, you're leaving yourself open.
You're right. And you look at a team like the Titans that finished pretty much dead last in the division. And also, they've got a new quarterback 1. Okay.
Mhm.
They've got a new wide receiver 1 and 2. They've got a new running back, Pollard, who will be pretty much the main guy, even though Tajay Spears out of Tulane in his second year, he could have more carries than Pollard. I mean, none of these people played big minutes last year for the Titans. And I'm sure it's the same everywhere.
I paid $10 for a preseason ticket in New Orleans, and I got to see Trevor Lawrence in the flesh. And we were all like, "Oh, the god of football! Oh my god!" And then he wasn't that impressive, but my god, was it exciting? Okay, because we were really close.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And he had those golden locks. You know what I'm talking about? Looking like a Viking or something out there. So it was like it did excite you even if he didn't impress, So I get your point. Like just seeing them on the sidelines even is like, oh my god. Like
yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Bears players, shoot, they played that first string offense the entire first half yesterday.
Yeah.
That's all that I heard about on the radio. Yeah.
They got a rookie quarterback and all this and that, but they got a lot of guys on that team that have played a lot of minutes throughout their careers. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, the entire offensive line. A lot of seasoned guys on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Even on defense, didn't play as much. Notice especially the front 7, they got into the backups pretty quick. But even that, they got a quarter almost, if not more.
It seems like some teams are really taking it seriously and using the opportunity, and others are sort of mocking it.
You should, and honestly, and it's hard thing to do. Are you trying to get your team ready, or are you trying to get roster spots 40 through 53 figured that out?
Yeah. Well, you have a couple games to do it, so I think
it's fine mixed. It's hard to toe the line, and maybe Jay, your team just like that probably would have been the better thing to say is we're confident in our starters, but we need to see these other guys get more time.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I agree.
That would have been better than like, oh, they did so good this week. We had a great week of practice, is what he essentially said. So we're not going to play the game.
Right.
Like that sounds ridiculous.
Right.
Yes. But I want to hear a hot take from Cale if he's noticed anything from the preseason, anything stand out to you. What are you thinking?
The touchdown pass to I think it was DJ Moore in the preseason against the Bills. That one.
I
I think it's DJ Moore.
from probably Bajent. Bajent had a really good game yesterday.
I thought it was bad.
Bajent threw 2 touchdowns yesterday.
I'm with you, Cale.
DJ Moore had a couple good catches.
He kind of looks like Trevor.
He does a little bit. He's like a little muscular Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, smaller.
Who's your favorite team, Cale?
The Baltimore Ravens.
Nice. I'm with him, man. So we're
man.
both.
I was going to ask. You're excited about having Derrick Henry for the first time?
Oh.
You guys just might run for 10,000 yards this year, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Might not even throw a single pass. Him and Lamar. Yeah. You think Lamar's going to win MVP again?
Definitely.
I love the confidence.
There you go. Let's has anybody had a chance to look at any of the preseason predictions? Your thoughts on who you're thinking is going to be like maybe a little bit overrated, or because there's not that much as far as injuries the first couple weeks for the obvious reasons that they're playing their starters very gingerly. All the teams are, but any thoughts as far as maybe somebody that's overrated or maybe a sleeper from what you've seen from the early predictions or anything?
Yeah, I think if you're anybody not named the Minnesota Vikings, your injury report's looking pretty good right now. Man, I don't know. And I'll probably say this until Patrick Mahomes retires, but the Chiefs got to be a little bit overrated, right?
Oh my God.
Gotta be.
Gotta be. I mean, at some point they gotta be. So that's gonna be my pick for an overrated team of the year.
When you were talking about Minnesota, you reminded me of the topic of that we were looking at a little bit, which was the UFL quarterback Martinez getting signed by the Jets as the third string. But also 2 days ago, the other Stallions quarterback, Matt Corral, got signed by the Vikings because they had the roster spot open. They had the roster spot open because J.J. McCarthy is going to be out for the whole year. We talked about that last week that they didn't know, but then after they did the surgery for J.J. McCarthy, they said, that the knee is worse than they thought, so he was going to have to sit out the whole year. So basically, the quarterback room of the Stallions in the UFL is
don't
better
even
than
get
a
me
lot
started.
of quarterback rooms
of
some of the NFL teams. They got 2 quarterbacks signed within 2 weeks.
I mean, to
be
fair,
crazy.
Martinez, right with Perez. I would say Perez had some of the best stats in the UFL, especially for what he was given. Like, talk about given little, do a lot, okay? Like, this guy is amazing. But I would say that Martinez is super solid and that team is better than every other team in the league by a long shot. And it feels like a massacre every single time they play somebody. So I'm not totally surprised because, frankly, I can see that an NFL talent level there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised I was always surprised Corral never caught on anywhere, but it didn't surprise me at all that he did get signed by the Vikings because it's so late in training camp. There wouldn't be anybody available hardly. And Corral just really showed out when the Stallions coach pulled Martinez, who'd been so great all year, and put in Corral during the championship game.
Yeah.
Which is it's kind of a Saban-like move from the time when they pulled Jalen Hurts and put in Tua off the bench at halftime. Yeah. It's like, holy, how are you going to do this? Unless you're Saban, you couldn't have done that. And like the same thing, unless you're Skip Holtz and you won 2 in a row, you say, well,
right.
I don't care. I don't have anything to prove. This is my instinct.
They really don't.
No.
So we were talking about the Chiefs being a sleeper team. Cale, you were talking about Patrick Mahomes, how he did the backward pass. Tell us about that again. He did it in training camp or during the preseason game.
Travis Kelce?
Amen. Who else has been watching the the whole Travis Kelsey, Taylor Swift thing go down.
Has there been other stuff going down? I don't know.
Just that it's going well, consistently
good.
well, which is a surprise within itself to me,
Good.
just from looking at least her track record. So I'm definitely thrilled to see that. They're cute. But yes, it was cool to have the little backward pass, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. As far as teams that are like overrated or underrated, I was kind of looking at the betting odds and things like that. But the only two that really stuck out to me were teams that were not the favorite in their division that I thought they like had the best quarterback. And Trevor Lawrence isn't favored. I mean, the Jaguars aren't favored in the South, okay? And I think Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in that division, just a touch better than Stroud. Stroud had a great rookie year, but he'll still just be his second year. And Trevor Lawrence is like a bona fide veteran by now, despite missing a lot of time. And the other one is Aaron Rodgers in New York. The Jets are underdogs in that division.
Yeah, that doesn't totally surprise me because he's one play away from not playing again for a whole nother season.
That's true.
And also the Jets are just a hot mess express. Like as a leadership, team development, like all of that kind of stuff. So I can see why people have significant doubts.
Yeah, the Hassan Reddick stuff is. I don't know if you guys have seen anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
He needs
like
he needs traded.
Yeah, see, he knows.
Yes.
He knows more than the Jets GM, man. What's going on here? Cale probably wouldn't have even traded for him in the first place without making sure they had a contract extension in place. But bygones be bygones, right?
Russell Wilson, the moment he plays, he's going to be bad, and they're going to do Justin Fields as starter.
Oh my God, it's like he read my mind because I was
he's on it.
I was just about to mention that there was a lot of hot goss out there about Russell Wilson's start in the preseason.
I did he start?
Yeah.
How did he do? I don't know. Fields did not look good.
Cale told you how he did, man.
Awful. Terrible.
It didn't go well. Yeah.
What are the Steelers going to do at quarterback?
I don't know.
Might just be a flip a coin and just see who starts every week.
Okay. Literally. Who's feeling?
TJ Watt would volunteer for quarterback.
There you go. TJ Watt just play everything. He'd kick the ball too.
That would probably work.
Okay.
But I think because both of them are unpredictable, it'll just be like, well, this one's not doing well this week. This player's not doing well this week. So we'll put the other player out and see if it's an on week for him. Like
yeah, just try and find the hot hand and ride that.
Yeah. Mike Tomlin's probably sweating right now.
Yeah.
Jay, I was surprised to hear you say you think Trevor Lawrence is better than Stroud.
Yeah, I don't.
CJ Stroud's better.
Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence.
Yes, Cale, he is.
I don't think I think over the whole year that Lawrence has a better year. But I mean, yeah, I think Stroud probably has a lot better career than Lawrence.
But he's
just starting out. It's just his second year.
Yeah. He's got some studs around him too now.
He got Stephon
Diggs, Mechie, Nico Collins.
Oh,
I think they got Noah
too.
Noah Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pretty good offensive line in front of him too now. And then D'Amico Ryans is Daniil. Oh yeah, I forgot they have Daniil Hunter. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, that team's pretty loaded. I think that's. Depending on how you think they can make it, they might do it. So you can look at them as either an underrated team or an overrated team. Because I think that they're probably a sleeper pick for a lot of people right now.
So I would put them as highly, not overrated, but I see them as highly rated, not over, just high. But clearly, Jade sees them as lower than I do, and so I think that there is going to be a little variance.
Okay.
Fair.
So, Julie, what are you thinking the major storylines for the NFL are going to be this year? I know we can't get granular really until the rosters are set in a week or so, but what do you see happening this year with the NFL? Maybe specific teams or just trends, maybe something to do with the new kickoff rules? What do you see
Hmm.
that's going to be different, set this season apart?
Let's see.
As a Seahawks fan, I'm going to be really curious to see how the new team works under our new head coach, who's like 30. I think he's younger than I am. And then like, despite those polos, which really put like 10 years on him. But anyways, um, uh, we'll kind of see what he's doing. It's going to be the end of a big era. So I know for us, that's going to be a big deal. I think everybody's going to be doubting Tomlin and the Steelers. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get anything together. There's going to be a huge amount of expectation for Caleb Williams, and we will all have to sit there and watch them dissect everything he does for the entire season, every second of every game. Somebody's going to get injured, and it's going to be somebody important, and I can't. Probably not going to be Aaron Rodgers again, but it'll be another,
I want
well
to see
season player. You're not supposed to want injuries for people, buddy.
Yeah, we don't wish for injury, but
I know, but I don't want him in the league.
That's fair. We can
He's-
just want him to not be there and not for any particular reason.
He has
maybe
a-
he'll
he
just
has-
retire.
He
Yeah.
has a bad attitude.
Maybe he'll just retire.
He's a coach, so he still has a job even if he's not playing.
He's the GM,
Yeah.
so
He doesn't even need to play, right? I agree. He can go.
he's the new George Hallis. He's just a player, coach, and owner.
The Packers trade.
We do love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Julie, on the injury. There's always going to be one or two that just like change the whole. I mean, people forget there was like a 2 hour build up to that game.
Mhm.
They hadn't talked
Oh
about
my
the Jets
gosh.
in a decade. 2 hour build. He comes out, spotlights with the stinking American flag. I mean, you're like, oh, this couldn't be better. This is, and then literally 2 plays in, he hadn't even thrown a complete pass yet.
I know.
And then he did the ACL, and you're like,
Oh my
gosh.
God. I was in Washington. I was back with my family and I was watching it with my grandma. And she's like, I don't think he's okay. And I'm like, I'm sure he'll be fine. He's played a long time. He can bounce back, right? She's like, Julie, I don't think so.
He can't get up.
Like, I was like, maybe it'll just take us because they kind of cut, And I'm like, by the time we come back, like, he'll be up and ready, right? She's like, my grandma doesn't even watch that much football. She's like, I don't think so. Something tells me that was pretty bad. I'm like, okay. I just got scolded by my grandma. It was so funny because I was just like, I don't know. He's, as being in the NFL that long, he gets beat up all the time. I was just kind of optimistic because how could it possibly happen that early in the season? I almost missed the play because I was focused on something else, and then all of a sudden I see him on the ground. Like, what happened? Like the game had
that's the
just
thing.
started.
Too, and it wasn't even like a crazy play either. It was
No.
It was
pretty
just a
run-of-the-mill.
turn. He was
Yeah.
escaping a rush or something. It's just like, boom.
Yep. So that was, and the Bills still losing that game despite him going down really set the tone for them that year as well.
Yeah.
Because they just
It
did
turned
not-
out to be a big loss for them. And then the Jets did nothing pretty much the rest of the year. They just ruined the Bills season and got done with it, really
Yeah.
quickly. I'm thinking this year that there's going to be this is kind of a opposite trajectory from the way that it's been. But I'm thinking there's going to be like a really big resurgence on defense this year. I think they're going to really kind of let them play, especially with the running backs and the wide receivers on the downfield. It's not going to be like, in the 70s with the Raiders defensive backs or anything.
Right.
But I think that they'll be instructing them to let them, hand fight a little bit.
Yes.
So that everything is just like not a wide open lane for some guys that are running a 4.40 to Boris with 31-28 games. I think there's going to be a lot of games that are decided by field goals early and a lot of good defensive players. And maybe for the first time in 3-4 years, there might be a defensive player that has a chance to be MVP. It's been
It
5 or 6
happen.
years, but I just have a
Happen.
feeling this year that they're just kind of going to flip the script a little bit. And the new kickoff rules should be really interesting too,
Hmm.
especially for guys if a team has like a Daryl Hester type or anything. Because all the preseason games I've seen, there's been 3 or 4 almost broken, you know, every game that there would be a guy pulled down at the 35, 40, or 45.
Hmm.
And once they get the actual first string special teams guys in there, I'm thinking you could see 2 or 3 really nice ones the first weekend.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked that there hasn't been one returned yet. Honestly,
No, there
I
hasn't
thought
been.
maybe there'd be a broken down coverage or
Yeah.
something somewhere, but
I've seen some long ones, but nothing really past midfield. But
We
anyway,
need to go back
Caleb,
to toeless kickers. I mean, not toeless, shoeless kickers. That's my
shoeless kickers.
yes. That's my argument for this season.
That could happen.
I think the defense felt like it was starting to catch up a little bit last year, even.
A little bit.
You know,
yeah.
the rules changed or something, or like you said, the referees were instructed to kind of let some things go here and there, but it didn't seem like offense was just completely dominating everything last year. And it's good to see, honestly.
Yeah. I love the defense, and we have enough spotlight for everybody. So
yeah, I mean, it's just even the playing field a little bit every game can't be in the 40s, you know. And
right.
I don't know, maybe quarterback play was just really down last year too. Like that, it's always hard to tell. Like our offense is just struggling in general, or is the offense or the defense starting to catch up a little bit? So,
Cale, who's your favorite defensive player out there right now?
I really like Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, the sauce. Yes.
What about your favorite offensive player?
He's
favorite offensive player, like in the history
just playing right now.
A couple. One of them is Bijan Robinson.
Solid.
Cale and Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
T. Higgins.
Like T. Higgins.
Jalen Waddle.
Solid.
Oh yeah.
What about Super Bowl? Since Super Bowl prediction.
Ravens.
Love it.
Chiefs going down.
We love that.
Yeah, we do.
Maybe the Rams.
Ooh.
Oh God.
Ryan will like that.
Yeah. It could
Rams
happen.
Are your sleeper pick, huh?
Yeah.
I think Stafford is going to be the Aaron Rodgers of this season. He's going to get his brain.
Oh, Ryan's not going to like that.
Maybe the Dolphins.
I think Dolphins.
Yeah.
As long as they don't have to play in some cold weather, I think that they might have a shot.
No.
Yeah.
They played 0 degree against the Chiefs and they won.
That didn't.
Good thing they
work
won
out too well.
That's true.
Tailgate got the only touchdown.
Yeah.
I lost that.
Yeah, if the Rams go to the Super Bowl, that means that the Niners didn't have a very good year. So that's pretty good to see at least.
It's true.
I might want the 49ers to go back.
Oh, now you want the 49ers? Oh, Ryan's not going to like to hear that. And Julie definitely
What about the Houston Texans? We were just talking about that. Yeah. The Texans, yeah. CJ Stroud.
Or maybe the Lions. They've never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever been to a Super Bowl, have they?
I don't think so.
And they've been in the NFC Championship.
Yes.
Barely.
Yeah. But barely. Look, I'm here for it. I think all of America can kind of unite on the fact that we wouldn't mind seeing the Lions go all the way. I think
they were close.
Mainly,
they were really close.
They had a good year last year. We're going to circle around the room one last time. Julie, any final thoughts on this week of sports and maybe what you're looking forward to in the next week?
I really need to get more invested in watching like more of the preseason, like more closely. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing this right now, but trying to get back into the swing of things. I just took a vacation. I'm coming back. Like trying to keep up with all the preseason games is feeling a smidgen overwhelming since we're still in August. That's maybe just be me, but I think other people might be experiencing that too. Like, oh crap, it's back. Let me get, into all the games. So I'm going to be more invested this week in keeping up with everything that's going on. I know all the like rumors and see like some highlights, but I need to get in there because my boyfriend used to say that I watch more preseason games than the coaches, and I'm slipping a little bit this week, so I got to step it up again.
Okay.
Also, maybe
Yeah, Caleb, Cale.
Hey, Jay, you just cut off Cale's thought.
Sorry.
What do you think?
maybe the Seahawks go.
Oh, this kid knows what's up.
We're pandering right now.
Yeah,
Oh man.
very innocently
If the
though.
Seahawks go, oh my goodness.
That would be shocking,
Or
but
the Cardinals.
Cardinals would be
that would be even more surprising. I think.
that would be they might be looking at
They're
the first
bad
overall
this
pick.
year.
Again,
They have to have a comparison to
no
Yeah.
Bears, huh? Bears don't get any love.
maybe.
No, not really. No love.
Teach this kid a thing or two about Bear football.
Sounds like he's got it pretty straight, if you ask me. But
They're all right. Relax.
What do you think, Caleb? Your final thoughts for this week? Your last shot.
I am just looking forward to getting this preseason junk over and getting the real deal here. Watch this future Hall of Famer that they call Caleb Williams, and
yes, I am so excited for that.
He completed like 3 cool passes, and I'm like, fit him for the gold jacket. Let's go. But that's where the preseason's at right now for me. So just completely unrealistic expectations, but it's that time of year. Everybody's got a shot technically, and just try and enjoy the ride, because before you know it, it's going to be like week 16 and there'll only be a couple of games left.
Yeah, that's
ready.
all where I'm at. The preseason to watch a little more, hopefully see some actual good games. I'm kind of with Julie on like trying to see where the depth charts are, see where the sleepers are, see where the people are saying, and just to get used to the new on college football, the new realignments. There's been so much happening in the last 12 months that it kind of leaks out. It seems like a lot, but then you look at it over the course of 12 months, and it's just been overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yep.
It used
Not
to
to
be
mention the 12-team playoff now, too.
Yeah. That's the thing. This is the first year I live in a college town that has no chance of going anywhere, doing anything. They're an odds-on favorite to make the college football championship because all their big rivals went to the ACC or the Big 12, and there's Tulane, UCF is gone, Cincinnati is gone. If they beat Tulane and they beat all the other scrub teams they have and upset Florida State, they're favored to be in one of the 12 to like lose their first round game. So
and there's weird. An automatic bid for non-power teams. So even if you just hang on and play tight with Florida State and win out the rest, there's a very real possibility you could be looking at Memphis. And if you guys got a ton of speed, look out.
Always have speed, and we have a 4th-year starter at quarterback. Literally the only one in the country.
That bodes well for you.
Yeah, it does. But they always lose one they shouldn't have to. And Mike Norvell's not going to wait 5 years to lose to his own team. He's going to kill us by 5 touchdowns.
He's going to be jonesing.
I dread it. So anyway, I think, Julie, we're pretty much putting a bow on it.
Yeah. I want to know if there's any other special thoughts from our special guest, any trivia, any fun facts that maybe you have. What's on your mind?
I can't wait until CeeDee Lamb gets traded.
Okay.
Calling the shot. Where's he getting traded to?
The rumors about the Chiefs and Browns.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Or the
I want
Browns.
the Browns.
Browns would be fun. Although Browns fans have been kind of annoying.
Yeah, you know how I feel about the Browns, but we won't get into that right now.
They just think that they're awesome. They haven't really done anything, but it's cool.
They were good
Okay.
last year.
They were okay last year.
No,
Yeah.
they were like 11 and something.
They got smoked in the playoffs by C.J. Stroud.
I know.
Everybody gets
45
smoked by
to
the Strouds.
20 something.
Joe Flacco was addicted to throwing interceptions that day.
Yikes.
Couldn't stop.
40-year-old quarterback. Look, he's keeping us all inspired, even in the new season.
Yeah,
I'm not a quarterback. I play wide receiver.
plays wide receiver.
Oh, wow, really? Nice.
Okay.
So, which player are you going to grow up to be like?
My mom doesn't want me to be a football player in the NFL.
We're working on it.
Yeah, well,
I'll play flag football.
that's fair. Keep your noggin on. I appreciate that. But hey, you never know. I'll leave the family dynamics to Caleb.
Just get really good at kicking. How about
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah, without a shoe on. Just try that a couple
Yeah.
times.
Be a shoeless Joe.
No.
Yes, let's write his story right now. All right, so make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, ding. Give us your comments. What are your thoughts on the preseason? Just let us know. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter with It's Miller Crime, and I'm always dropping something hot over there. I did some pretty good articles this week. I did 10 of our more, I forget the word that I used, unique players who had some very strange preferences, and John Madden's phobia to flying. So we kind of talked about 10 players who had very number 10, I'll just do a sleeper one here. One player really liked getting slapped in the face by a member of the training staff before he went out. That to me sounds like it could be a lot of things, including
On Henderson. Right?
Was it
Henderson?
I can't remember.
The Jaguars?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that you might need to might need to visit a counselor about that. But so I talked about 10 different players like that, and then I also my memory is so bad. But anyways, so there's more stuff like that, and I'm writing one right now, so make sure to check because I've always got stuff coming out for the Forkball, and I will pass it over to Jay.
I've got nothing new going on. No major new feuds this week. As you know, I'm on X or Twitter at Ajax Allen because I'm always running from the authorities, so that's why I don't use my real name on Twitter. So anyway, Caleb, to you.
Nothing new over here. Just be me and Cale getting ready for the season here. Hopefully, watch some apparently Baltimore Ravens
And hopefully
Chicago
the
Bears.
Falcons can be better. They
Well,
don't have Desmond Ritter.
We all
Arthur
hope that the
Smith's gone,
Falcons
so-
can be better. That's solid.
No, they have Kirk Cousins.
I know. Arthur Smith's gone now, coach. They got a new coach now.
Bad coach.
Should be all right this year. Maybe Bijan Robinson will actually get a handoff or two this year.
How about
So that's it for us. You got anything else?
Jaguars? He goes this way.
Juking out of their shoes.
Yeah.
They pick up
Nice.
their socks.
Well, thanks everybody for showing up. Special shout out to Cale for showing up today to help us out.
Yes,
And
thank you so much.
I think we're wrapped for the week. Next week we'll have actual real football to talk about.
Great. All right. Have a good
Looking
one,
forward
everybody.
to it.